Juicin. And now this time around, RSG looking to shake things up just a little bit, going into second pick and potentially a chip ban as well.
Okay, so throughout these games, I would like to say, I would at least say that, oh, they're still gonna go for the Phoveus ban, huh? Personally, I feel that yes, Phoveus is definitely nutty throughout the games because of all the Infernal Pursuits. But personally, if I'm Amox, I actually kind of want to test the limits of Ken's Phoveus.
You really sure you want to test Phobias, Ken's Phobias?
Yeah.
We established that last season. You don't give Ken that Phobius. It's like giving.
So what would you give up?
It's like giving Roy the Kadita. Wait.
But what would? Okay, so what would you give up, just for the chip ban? The Juicin?
I think.
I mean, technically,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think-
always a Juicin ban.
Yeah, I think
right?
I think like Loic Phobius, and then after that you go ahead and ban the chip.
Okay.
Right. Now,
Okay.
now if you notice, also King Flash also banning away the Kalia as well. So yeah, Moscow also goes down to the gutter, not allowing CS to have that one.
Okay.
Finally, there you go.
Finally, that is out of the picture. Hayabusa is available for first pick if Team Flash wants to go that way, though. Other than that, what else are we looking out for? Badang can be the first pick too.
Badang first pick has been really controversial. I
Moskov
don't
is
really
banned.
like it. There's also potentially a Harith first pick, or if you want to go something interesting about Sia as well. Okay, never
They
mind.
love Harith
Yep.
for this few games.
They want Vanix to be super confident because imagine if you've been playing the same hero over and over again, you build up that muscle memory in you.
I guess so, yeah. Sometimes you gotta go with consistency instead of fun and boredom, I suppose. Right?
Amox has been giving you fun, not banning the chip, living life dangerously. See
I
what they
guess
got
so.
them.
Yeah. So now we get to the question, right? What enables Hades? So so far the theory is as long as there's a chip, you don't need a Hayabusa or any ways to kind of split push, right? But we have a lot of these assassins that's currently available to enable the Hades. So Hayabusa is available on the board, Link is available on board, Fanny also. So many of these that we
Yep.
can still consider. So even for RSG, they don't really bother picking up the jungle. Possibly just want to leave it to the second phase, but I'm not too sure whether Flash would want that. So possibly picking up the
I think you can go for the Hayabusa here.
Yeah,
Definitely, right? Take it
possibly.
away from Bray, make sure because Hayabusa has been one of the prized assassins, provides so much utility in terms of wave clear
Yep.
on the shadow kill, provides a split push potential. If you land your quad shadows onto a carry, that's a dead carry, like dead damage dealer.
So I think that we need an initiator to lock in first, right? So it looks like they have decided to go for a glue and the Hayabusa
Yep.
indeed.
Yep, and don't forget, Ken was kind of like a target for the past few games as well, if you notice in terms of the banning phase. And now, okay, RSG showing us the Link this time. And don't forget,
Finally.
the Link is also a good response over to the Hayabusa.
Okay, finally, yeah.
It feels like they feel like they're resetting.
Yeah, in fact, we saw this matchup yesterday, right? And I think that they are going back to it again because this is the same kind of situation whereby Hayabusa, if Hayabusa wants to go for a 1v1 against the Link, if the Link kind of goes off tangent and tries to split push,
Yep.
Hayabusa cannot be the first one to go for the Ogi Shadow kill.
Yep.
You have to tank all the way through until you see the Tempest of Blades being used by the Link,
Mhm.
and only after that, then you can Ogi,
Yep.
Ogi Shadow kill.
But don't forget, Ling is also a DPS monster, right? He
Yes,
can just slice
correct.
and dice. He does a lot of crit damage. Hayabusa, on the other hand, relies on skills to be able to do the damage.
Uh-huh. So you pretty much will use up all 4 of your shadows in order to enable two procs of your shurikens. And I think that 2 procs of shurikens and a couple of basic attacks should more or less be enough to threaten the Link to wanna use the Tempest of Blades. So
Yeah.
this is really the battle of Micro as to who
Mind
managed to land most amount of skill.
Yep, and also the mind games as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's definitely going to be something we're going to be look out for. It feels like Flash maybe going back into the 4+1 kind of rotation towards the later parts of the game. RG can also do the same unless they want to threaten the MO right here. They just go in ham in terms of just ganking onto Hades' lane.
So, all in all, we are looking at the full, almost a full ban now with the Gatokacha, Selena, as well as the Zask that will be taken away. RG is lacking of a Roma and the EXP later. So, Gatokacha is out of the picture. I would like to believe that they'll want to ban the Badang too.
Badang is definitely a good ban. It messes up with the Harry in terms of the Zaman Force as well. And
high
instead of that,
rolls.
they're going to open it
Okay,
up.
okay, fair. I think that is
Leave
fair.
it over to RSG. I like the fact that, like what I mentioned, the Bandigato is something that Closer has been playing for the past few games, and that's going to be Jay Cho being
Jace
picked up
Cho.
by the side of RSG.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen Jace Cho coming into the Land of Dawn. So how's that gonna be? Well, we'll see. Because we still have one last counter pick coming in from RSG, where they have to decide that EXP laner. It's going up against the Glue though, so there is a possibility that if they want to, they can go for a CC. But what else are we missing out here?
Crazy idea number 10.
Okay.
Lapu Lapu against the Glue. You cleave, especially when it goes to the little bit, you just basically heal everything up. Like I said, it's a crazy idea. So
yeah, it is a crazy idea. It doesn't have to.
doesn't have to be.
Make sense.
Okay, Padang will be selected by the side Team Flash. Going into the hands of JPL, definitely. Kimi being secure, once again, a lot of magic damage, but this also allows, you know, the Hayabusa physical damage to really penetrate through.
What other EXP laners right now is viable? Honestly,
CC is
Lucas-
still available.
Lucas Tank might be a yeah.
Crazy
Lucas
idea
Tank.
number 11.
No, that's not really a crazy idea per se. I would say that is a pretty decent matchup against Glue if they don't want to pick up a CC. But one thing that I kind of want to see is enough damage to play around the Way of the Dragon, because at this point in time, in the early stages, they don't have any ways to make full use of it. And I think, yeah, Hilda does work on that.
Hilda does have burst damage in the early games.
I keep
The numbers
forgetting about
are
Hilda as well.
really nutty. Yeah, one of
Yeah.
the forgettable heroes, right?
Yeah.
Like the Juicin.
Like the Juicin.
But apart from that, now you also got Mega Burst coming out from the Granger. You also got Burst from the Hilda. And so, like what I mentioned, once again, the win condition relies on Jay, once again, to be able to kick and isolate. Hopefully isolates, be it the Harif, be it the Kimi. The Cho also good as well, right? Because apart from the knockup, you're also able to kick the Harif away from the Zaman Force.
My only problem is trying to deal with the front lines, right? Team Flash, the way that they have is mostly going to be pick off and, in some sense, dive. I want to believe that Ling and Hilda would generally want to work together for full-out team fights. Otherwise, look for an avenue to get a really good Way of the Dragon kick in order to immobilize one person and get yourself the numbers advantage. Well, in the meantime, I think that Team Flash, this is more or less a Death Ball comp.
Yep, Death Ball comp, definitely. And apart from that, Hades can also do a 4+1 with the Quad Shadows, but yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't think that is going to be good, but by now he should have his Shumpo back. Oh wait, he don't have
He doesn't
Shumpo,
have Shumpo,
sorry.
it's level 1?
Level 1, yeah, so he have to use his Flicker.
Yeah, no choice, but this flicker should be available. But look at the damage coming up from Hades.
Oh, Roy! Instead of a dead Jay, we see a dead Roy. Not a great start to the game. Just under 1 minute, we're already seeing something in here. But fortunately, on the flip side, Vanix is having a little bit of problem up to the top lane.
Yeah, and that's good, right? So maybe RSG can also pivot around towards the top side. Don't forget, RSG Power Spike comes in the later parts of the game. Ken?
Uh-oh. Ken, I think that he has a Flicker if he... Okay, so... It's okay, he forced the Flicker on the side of Closer.
2 flickers being forced out in 1 minute. Flash SG is not letting go on in terms of the momentum against RSG.
And now down back to the bottom lane. Ken is looking for more again onto Closer. Just zip them. Oh, Ken! Oh! Too early.
Yeah, but right now, at the very least, maybe they can play around CS right here. Vanix, in fact, is not having a good time, like what you mentioned, right? Because by right now, Vanix should be at the same level against CS. Feels like, you know, Vanix missed some minutes.
Yeah, he definitely did. He lost a little bit too much HP in that initial bout. I think that was the very first wave already, or maybe the second wave, right? So during that point in time, he already lost quite a bit of farm.
Yep, I think that's 1 siege minions different. And now the turtle will be spawned up. Level 4 checks right here. Not a lot of level 4s coming up from the side of RSG except for Prey. In the other hand, Kurtisi already hits level 4. The Juicing, yes, the wave clear is good. but I think Curtizis as a Kimi, the wave clear is a lot faster.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jay never really quite focused on the middle lane creep waves to kind of clear that out as fast as possible together with Roy, because that would have been a great way to get himself lane prio. In the meantime, there we go, Ken with their grab, slam down, and of course even the split down onto Jay, picks him up and takes him down.
Yeah, even Vanix joining out down in action in the mid lane as well, leaving the lane to his own devices. I mean, that's okay, because, you know, Granger, known as a lane bully, should be able to outbully him. Might as well just do some other impacts across the map.
As we continue to move on from this point in time, the turtle is currently available and just gonna be in the hands of Team Flash, as they got the priority over the turtle. What RSG is doing right now is that they are looking for some other avenues of attack, while the Ling is currently in the middle lane. We do have got JPL with the fist crack that dealt quite a lot of damage on the closer, forced that flicker on over to him. The split now over to the side of Jay as well. So a lot of members from RSG actually lost a little bit too much HP before the turtles fight.
Yeah, you start to feel RSG is piling a little bit weird, right? This is not a game 1 RSG that we look out for, right? This is not the upper brackets RSG that we look out for. And now, because you give us so much resources in the early game, like what I mentioned, the 2 flicker, add on the 1 purify for good measure as well. Yeah, like RSG right here just lost a lot of momentum. They need to try to recover from this.
How exactly did they recover from this? I think that RSG, they need to start playing for their lanes. It's definitely a lot difficult for the Hilda to be able to just wreak havoc onto the EXP and being able to win Ken. But in the meantime, speaking of Ken, gets kicked behind by the way of the dragon, and he continues to be a very solid frontline for his team.
But Ken using that glue allows the Curtizzi to basically land the damage over and over. The problem about using, you know, a mid lane Kimi is that you don't really have that that slow factor, right? The glue provides that, and that's why you can see the wombo combo between Kimi and also glue. It works wonders.
So continuing on, JPL tries to go for the fist break, did not manage to land on the J, but it's not gonna be too big of a deal. Hades wasn't able to connect that as well.
Big power item spike coming off from Brave. Berserker Spirit already secured. I feel like RSG needs to try to look towards the later parts of the game. They need to try to hunker down, not to lose as much, too much resources as possible. Try to make sure that EXP lane is a wet noodle fight. If RSG want to make something happen, they have to play around the top or maybe play around mid.
I think it is still very early, and RSG even I think they only lost 2 members, as such giving a 400 goal lead. That is not a horrible start given their current lineup. As much as I want to see Closer being able to fully utilize the crazy damage in the early game, I don't think that he can.
I don't think you want to kick Ken. There's nobody from the side of RSG will be able to deal with Ken, especially down in the bottom lane, top side.
CS is gonna be fine. Traction Pulse didn't find his target, didn't hit its mark. Team Flash push the rest of RSG away, but it does seem as though the Hilda found someone. And now we do have the fist break just going to be connected. Closer just walks himself away, while Jay got the way of the dragon down to the JPL, flickers himself right back, while Vanix drops down to Zaman, force down a reasonable amount of damage over to Roy, and of course the fist break from JPL locks down onto Roy and allows Vanix to pick up yet another kill. The Synchro Fusion connects down onto Closer, forces him to run.
But mid lane, Ling was able to sneak away a turret at the same time top side, slowly getting cracked open. But Flash SG will be able to secure 2 more kills and also the turtle. In fact, I would say this is something like an equal trade for now, but Team Flash definitely still has the lead.
Yeah, so but the difference here is that RSG managed to bring down a T1 in the middle lane. This will, technically speaking, enable the team to play a little bit more aggressively into the opponent's jungle without too much repercussion. However, that will mean that we need more garrisons onto Jay as the leader, right? Because he can always go into the opponent's jungle and provide information, but he needs a way to get out, or he needs a way to counterattack.
Man, JPL does have the fist crack ready to go, but hold on a second.
Do have a grab down to the Closer. Even when it comes down to Zaman Force, it's just working very good for Vanix. But these 2-man team is just not being able to get a kill down the Closer, but could immobilize almost just 1 more hit, and there we go.
Yeah, CS off screen right there, also taken down. RSG in shambles, unable to secure a single kill at the same time. Bray, the only way they can survive this is to really start split pushing.
Yep. Managing to bring down half of the HP up in the top lane, I think that is good enough for them to just play a little bit of a macro game. We have the Dragon plus, of course, the Lantern Flare down on the JPL brings him down pretty effectively. Bray still have Temples of Blades. As such, sends himself up to the sky with 3 blades. 3 blades and gets himself away.
Yeah, Heartclaw also secured by the side of Brave for now. That one kill definitely desperately needed by the side of our SG. Team Flash, on the other hand, is just sending waves and waves of damage, and now RSG is a tough pill to swallow.
Do have got a bit more time, but before RSG would need to force the fight. They have a very greedy assassin though, so it's a link that requires and wants to play in the late stages. Even in the mid stages, if you want to go crazy, technically he can just go for 4 swords. But the front lines from Flash is a little bit thick, so RSG needs to find a way to eventually land all those.
Roy, that's an ultimate. Not a good idea. I don't think you want to engage that one, Roy.
Not at all. As Hades now finds himself the OG Shadow Kill as well. The fist break onto Roy. Forces Roy in a very difficult position. As such, bringing him down. The rest of the members coming from the side of Team Flash wants a piece of Closer. Forces the flicker. And Closer is going to be fine for now.
Yeah, mid lane. Don't forget, mid lane for the side of RSG. They're cracking open. Bot lane, RSG Bray is actually working on split pushing at the same time. Flash SG is working on the Lord. I don't know, man. Has RSG lost more too much? The mid lane is actually a massive bargaining chip for the side of RSG, but Flash SG this time out has a Lord.
Have a taste of your own medicine, Flash, as we are very clear to see that Bray is just working on the macro game. He wants to ensure that his entire team can still hold out in the late stages of the game by getting himself a little bit more passive income through all these turrets and to ease the general pressure from all across the map.
Yeah. Not too sure what to do for the Sun of RSG. You've lost your side lane. CS is not farming. CS not farming, your Rhapsody doesn't come up as often. Roy's also not farming, he's always constantly getting ganked. Closer right now, unfortunately, as a Hilda, is just a stun machine, and JPL looking for a consume play.
I don't think that he'll be able to find one. Ken looks like he's looking for an opportunity for the grab. But now the middle lane turret stands tall with a little bit of a HP to work with, but JPL is just tanking him all of that damage while the Zaman Force is already dropped down. Might as well just bring the turret down.
Yeah, and the very least, Bray is still matching in terms of the levels against Hades, right? That's probably the only way that RSG can basically stay alive. But apart from that, CS early on just flicker when he's actually ready to stay.
Jay! Great way on the Dragon that will be able to single out to JPL. Vanix drops down to Zaman Force, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. But the Tempest of Blaze allows for Bray to deal quite a bit to the front lines. But unfortunately, KTZ will still bring him down. CS though gets a kill on the Hades. In fact, that's a double. Closer wants to get himself right out of the dodge, but we do have that grab that latches on the Closer. That is a 3-for-3 trade.
That's exactly what we want to see coming out from RSG, right? Jay entering, he needs to be the playmaker right here. If you take a look, start with Jay, isolating JPL on his own. Vanix right here will be able to up with the damage, but main important thing is CS picking up these kills, especially when the Skyfierce stacks is starting to hurt.
The way that OG Shadow Kill was so clutch though. It could have turned the game so different because both CM and Jay got out with just a sliver of health. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, if you take a look at items, yeah, Skyfierce is starting to build. You also even see a Sea Helmet just to be able to deal with not only just the Harris, but also the glue as well.
Just slowly getting there. Very, very slowly inching in.
Yep.
Well, in the meantime, we'd have the link with the Berserker's Fury, Heart's Claws, as well as Endless Battle.
Yep.
I think that this more or less does a bulk of the damage that they need in order to bring down heroes such as Kurtizi or perhaps even Vanix.
Yep, the Ling is starting to come online. Don't forget, Ling is also a good counter against Kurtizi as well, because once Kurtizi gets caught off guard, especially with you have an assassin that's jumping onto him, that's basically game over.
So how it's gonna be like for the next few minutes though, as it is in 11 minutes mark. This is going to be the second turret, and normally when it comes down to second turret, those late game heroes and late game composition will start to be a little bit more scary from this point. As the OG Shadow Kill connect down to Jay, he haven't found a way of the Dragon just yet, but a grab will be more than enough to kind of latch on and of course giving Kurtizi that kill. The fight is now going to be split up into two. CS currently in a pretty bad spot at this point, and it does seem like he wants to teleport himself back home, knowing that this fight is more or less over. They want to ensure that Bray and as well as CS, the main damage dealers, still survive just so that they can hold out in the base. Even if losing out the sword is gonna be fine.
man, the fact that, you know, Team Flash, they pick the battles, they pick the team fights right here closer, no way for him to run, that's definitely going to be dead. Another Sky, here's the stack from the side of Kurt Keezy, the Lord secured by the side of Flash, SG for now, unless Bray, I don't think he's be able to get there right there in time.
But he is gonna be a little bit sneaky beaky like, and does have to finish points to get away if you really want to go for that.
Yeah, and that really, like,
Split pushes.
Split push is the only way to go, right? The only thing that RSG has against Team Flash is the fact that you've got the mid lane for the side of Flash SG that's cracked open, but now they have to defend against the Lord. Ken is being a nuisance against Bray right here, Abstract.
Yep, so it is just the laners doing their laning things. They don't care about one another, they just want to care about what they are able to do to the lane. Yeah, unfortunately, Bray will leak out a single melee unit that will rush down. Not like it's gonna do too much, I would like to believe. But Team Flash now literally right at the doors of RSG while the Lord is doing the same thing.
Could this be checkmate, Abstract? Because right now, Bray is getting zoned out from his base. Hades is on the hunt right here. The Lord's actually crashing onto the bot. And now the members of RSG, they're having difficulties even clearing the Lord right here. Mid lane is getting engaged on.
Bray is currently looking for an angle from the backside. Well, most of the members coming for the side of RSG is going to be a little bit difficulty to work at this point in time. Bray is looking for the opportunity and indeed, but he got caught by JPL! As such, this is probably going to be the game over as now Close is just going to be putting himself right in the face of Team Flash. Almost being able to bring down Katisi, but it's all 5 men from the side of Team Flash. They want to push down RSG. The Secret Vision lands right on top of on the side of Jay. And now with the core, the crystal down to 10.
Man, that was a crazy, crazy game. A solid ending for the side of Team Flash, right? They really drove the final nail in the coffin. RSG was beaten down over and over again, and they finally got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time, and of course, we've got the champions once again for MPLSG Season 9, a 4-peat.
Yes.
For Team Flash, and they are going to be our Singapore representative that will be going over to the MLBB Southeast Asia Cup 2025 right in the Esports World Cup in Riyadh.
And of course, commiserations over the side of RSG Singapore, right? Unfortunately, the journey has to end here because Team Flash booked a ticket all the way to Riyadh in the EWC.
Oh man, what a game. We thought that RSG would have been able to stand a chance and get more than one win. That was the very first game of the series that is supposed to give them a little bit more momentum to propel themselves for 2 games, 3 games, heck, even 4 games.
Yeah, and we thought, you know, RSG was able to, you know, literally go the mile, right? Because we were expecting, you know, a full-on 7 games. I think that's what Zaze was talking about, right?
Yes, but they didn't give us that.
Yeah, because
I blame you, Zaze.
But because Team Flash is just way too dominating, right? Like 3 games in a row, you see the chip, right? And after the one game after another, you can start to see not only just the fact that RSG SG is losing ground, they're also starting to lose a lot of momentum. The previous game earlier just now, man, I feel like they just lost too much already.
Indeed, and as much as we want to continue hopping on, this is pretty much the time that we have as the casters for MPL SG Season 9. As we are about to move on over to On Ground, as we're gonna have to take a look at the celebrations that is going on as we crown the brand new champions of Season 9. My name is Abstract, with me here is Jace. We've of course got Churros as well as Deadeye that came in throughout the entirety of the season. Right. But for now, we're gonna pass our time over to our host, Lawrence, that is on site. See you guys.
Mic test. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who's the winner today? All right. I know many of you guys are happy, but honestly, the fight earlier on was quite neck on neck. You know, I think they are like Man U and Liverpool of football. All right, but today, Team Flash will walk. Team Flash will walk home with the championship trophy. And do you guys know where they're heading to? That's right, they're heading to Riyadh for the Esports World Cup. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, before we hand over the trophy to our winning team, let's have a look. Let's ask our first runner-up on what they think about the match, shall we? All right, let's invite RSG Singapore to come up and have a few words before we present the trophy, all right? All right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, with me, we have RSG Singapore coach. Let's give him a round of applause. I think they fought very hard. Okay, tooth and nail, I believe. Blood, sweat, and tears as well, maybe. So, how do I... Sorry, Coach Amox. Okay, so how do you feel about today's match since the very beginning?
I'm actually happy because there's so much audience from Singapore, actually. So, very proud of the boys, and also very proud that the turnout is this great, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. I love the energy from you guys. RSG, I think you guys performed amazing. Okay, but importantly, I want to ask you this question, okay? Something a bit to, maybe to possibly throw you off. Huh? Okay, what do you think of today's opponent? Basically, Flash Singapore. What do you think of them?
They've always been a great opponent. Through the years, through the season, we've seen that they've been great. Getting a chance to fight against them at their very best at the grand finals is an honor to us. Especially, we know that we are the last RSG barriers, and we might also be the last season going on. Yeah. So going grand finals against a strong team is been an honor. Yep. Yep.
All right, one last question is, what is, like moving forward, what is your plan for RSG?
Hopefully there's still RSG, but if not, I'll still be looking out to grow the Singapore scene, especially as you can see our lineup is full Singaporean lineup. So let's see what the future holds for us. Yeah.
All right, once again, can we give a round of applause to our RSG Singapore team? You guys have fought hard, you guys have done well as well. Thank you for your performance, thank you Coach Amox as well. All right, so without further ado, shall we present the trophy to Team? Okay, all right. So in front of me, as you guys can see, is the MPL Season 9 trophy, which means whoever holds this trophy will walk home and go to Riyadh as well. Sorry, fly to Riyadh. Sorry. All right. So, Flash team, are you guys ready? They be shy. Flash team, are you guys ready? Yes. Okay, okay. Can we invite Flash organization to come up and lift the trophy? I think those with Flash team as well, just come on up because we want you guys to be in together to raise the trophy with our 5 players as well. Is that all, or do you still have anyone else? Paging for Mark. Are you here by any chance, Mark? And Adam, sorry, and Adam. Mark and Adam. Wow, two very, like Charles and Keith, Mark and Adam. I think you want to stand a bit closer to the trophy because this one is yours, right? All right, before they lift up, okay, Mark and Adam, are you guys here? Adam is the boss, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as they lift the trophy, I want you guys to give your warmest, your biggest and loudest round of applause, all right? Ready, guys? On 3, yeah? 1, 2, 3. Team Flash, Team Flash. Maybe Team Flash, I want to pose for a picture for everyone here, the audience here. All right, you guys want to get a picture? You can get it now. All right, pose, pose, pose. Smile, smile, smile. You guys are the winner for today. All right. Okay. Thank you, Team Flash. All right. Next up, before we move on to I think one section that you guys might be interested in, which is the MVP. Let's ask Team Flash what they feel about today's match, shall we? All right. All right. Okay. The coach has sabotaged Ken, right? Ken, that day I wanted to interview you. I think today I get to interview you. Okay. So Ken, how do you feel about today's match?
I'm very proud of us as we were very confident and we were consistent. We didn't choke as bad as yesterday.
I think your teammates have something to say.
He crying.
Anyone else want to add on? No. Coach, what do you think, Coach? How do you think of their performance today?
I think we played okay. Honestly, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. This is not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for a good finishing at EWC. So we can celebrate for today, but honestly, guys, proud of all you guys. Guys, step up and wish us all the best for EWC.
Okay, but earlier on I asked Team RSG on what they feel about Team Flash. So Team Flash, what do you think about RSG?
RSG is always a familiar name. Some context. I used to be part of RSG way at the start. So, you know, for me, they're friends.
All right, okay, rivals on battlefield, but friends off the battlefield. All right, okay, so without further ado, shall we, oh wait, before that, I just want to ask one more question, because I think all of us here are curious. How confident and what do you have in mind for EWC for Team Flash?
I don't think our team works well with confidence, so I'll just say, let's try to get our groups at least, for now.
Okay. All right, once again, round of applause for Team Flash, champion of the MPL Season 9 finale. All right, okay, now next up, do you guys know who today's MVP is? Or who do you guys want to be the MVP? Okay, Coach, one more question is, which player do you think is the MVP then?
Which player is the MVP? My sub, Lossy. Very proactive in between games, helping out the team even though he's not playing, and Diablo as well. You know, they came in down to help us, support us, and give us a lot of input. So these guys are MVP. Yeah.
All right, amazing. Yes, mental support as well. Yes. Okay. Importantly, let's look at the screen to find out who the MVP for today's match is. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, JPL. Okay. Where is he? Paging for JPL. Paging for JPL. Hey, you are the MVP at JPL. Where is he? Oh, JPL, we need you here, you know. If you don't have MVP, we can give it to someone. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I don't have the power, but yes. JPL, are you here by any chance? JPL. You have fans here. JPL fans, make some noise. Oh, Coach, you want to speak on behalf of JPL?
Sure. Wait, is JPL here? Wait, JPL. I think JPL will probably say, wow, tired there, a lot of games, can go back. Something like that.
Something to the fans?
JPL will say, thank you guys, come down, thank you so much. Come again more, and come earlier, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Coach, on behalf of JPL. I think if JPL got anything to say, I think just record a video and send to your fans. Okay, all right. So next up, what do we have? We have our closing. Basically, Team Flash is the winner for today, and we want to thank you guys, Team Flash, for playing so hard, for working so hard as well. Once again, shall we give them one more round of applause? Thank you, Team Flash. I think you guys can take your leave. You can take your trophy and take your leave. Thank you so much, Team Flash. All right, now back to the broadcast. Those of you guys watching at home, on stream, or globally, a big thank you for watching and also supporting MPL Season 9 finale. All right, so thank you to all teams who have played for the MPL Season 9 Thank you to our live audiences here at Tampines Mall as well. And also, thank you to those of you guys who are watching at the comfort of your homes. And also importantly, I think today, without our sponsors, Moonton, Singapore Esports Association, and also Capital Land, Head and Shoulders, and also Tampines Mall. Without your help, without you guys, this wouldn't have been possible. So once again, thank you ladies and gentlemen, and we hope to see you guys in the next season of MPL. My name is Lawrence, signing off, and we will see you in the next season once again.